In front of me today is a piece of equipment that I am pretty excited about. This is the Kamerar 31-inch fluid motion video slider. And this slider is interesting because as of today, this is pretty much the cheapest slider that you can get on the market that is both belt driven and has a flywheel counterweight. So today we'll be taking a look at this slider to see how it compares to some of the more expensive counterparts. This 31-inch Kamerar slider is composed up of mostly carbon fiber and aluminum. At both ends of the slider are adjustable legs to allow you to use the slider without the need of a tripod and to get much lower angle shots. The slider carriage runs on 6 roller bearings and does feature a brake to keep the carriage in place when not in use. The most interesting feature about this slider is of course that it is belt driven and has a stainless steel counterweight. If you've never had the chance to use a slider with a belt and flywheel system, it will completely change your world. It is so much easier and so much more consistent than something like a bearing on rail system that we get with a lot of cheaper sliders. These features are generally only in sliders that cost at least 2 or 3 times more the price of this Kamerar slider. So for $230, how does this slider compare? So for somebody like me who own both the Rhino Evo 24-inch carbon fiber slider and the iFootage Shark S1 slider, I would say that this slider is not as good, but I don't really think that that's a really fair comparison since the Rhino slider and the Shark slider are like $600. This slider is very comparable, but it is not as smooth in my opinion. The force that is needed to carry the carriage is much greater, and it's really just hard to explain because if you use the Shark slider or the Rhino slider, when you push it, it really just, there's a lot of momentum built up. With this slider, I feel like it requires more force and there's a lot more tension and a lot more resistance. This could be a good or a bad thing. The little extra resistance on this slider, I personally don't think that it's really unwanted. With the other two sliders, because they're so smooth and so easily moved, I think that for beginners, it's a little bit harder to actually control. The little resistance here helps you get like a smoother ramp up and ramp down from your maximum speed. But I guess for me personally, because I'm so used to the other two slider now, that I really don't like this extra resistance. For somebody who's new and just going to a belt and flywheel system for the first time, you obviously will not notice the difference, and this is very completely absolutely usable. This system as is smooth and consistent, and with a little bit of work and more practice, you can definitely get very professional shots with this system right here. The only real complaint that I have about this slider is just really the way that the belt system and where the flywheel is mounted is just very, I would say, awkward compared to other systems. On both the Shark and Rhino slider, the belt system and the flywheel is actually encased inside of the end caps, so they're essentially not taking up any space from the track. On this system, however, because the belt and the flywheel is placed inside of the end caps and inside of the track, when you move your carriage, you're actually losing a lot of space. This 31-inch slider essentially becomes a 22-inch slider or so, depending on your setup. As you can see, when I moved on this end, my ball head actually hits the flywheel, and if you have a camera directed on, it'll be the same problem. So you're actually losing a lot of space within this 31-inch slider. I would say that for $230, I can't really complain about the amount of travel space that you have at all. Because really, after you start using sliders for a while and you know what kind of moves you can get, there is a lot that you can do within that 22 inches of travel. So would I recommend this slider? Absolutely yes. It's really a no-brainer at all in my opinion. Sub $300, sub $250, this is absolutely the best slider that you can get on the market right now, bar none. For $230, I don't know if you can get any better than this package right here. It is smooth, consistent, and really everything that you can want from a slider. And I really can't say enough about it just because it is so damn cheap. You really cannot complain in terms of the slider world. If this review has helped you, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share, comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.